Welcome to What's Cooking New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Well, tonight we're going to do a little bit of a twist on one of our family favorites. So instead of having our traditional tacos, we're going to zip this up a little bit and make it a little bit with a Mediterranean flair. I know everybody's ready to start taking their recipes to the next level. We've spent a lot of time covering our basics, and now we're going to add something with a little twist. So what we're going to start with tonight are fish tacos. Many of us have come to know our standard tacos made with ground beef, although this is a little bit higher in saturated fat, calories, and cholesterol. So we're going to give that a little twist tonight, and we're going to make these with tilapia, one of our very lean, low-fat fish. All right, so we're going to make a nice sauce that's going to go with that. We're going to increase our vegetable intake with this one, and then we're going to make these in our olive oil, which is going to increase our good fats. Remember, we're looking for those saturated, the unsaturated, the mono or polyunsaturated. Those help bring up our good fats and down our bad. So help work on your cholesterol by switching the butter, the lard, and some of our other frying back into our olive oil or our vegetable oils, all right? So let's go ahead and get started with this recipe. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just make a little bit of a sauce. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our low-fat sour cream. We're going to take about a 1/4 cup, which I have measured out here. We're going to add it into our bowl. And instead of having plain sour cream, we're going to zip that up a little bit. Now, this doesn't have to be complicated. All we're going to do is we're taking our diced tomatoes, which have green chilies in them. I bought this at the store. And we're going to drain that juice right into our sour cream. Now, when we mix this up, we're going to get a really nice low-fat sour cream. This is going to be our sauce that is going to go on top of our fish. It's going to be light in color, but it's going to have a lot of great flavor. Now, when you buy that tomato can with the green chilies, you can expect a little bit of extra zip. Now, if you're not looking for that, go ahead and buy the plain diced tomatoes. You can get those with sweet onion. You can use something that has maybe oregano and basil. It's going to add a little different flavor. Any of those are going to be fine. Just make sure they are to your taste. And if possible, we want to make sure we're choosing those that have the low sodium. Look for those on your cans, and you can be sure that's going to be the best for your heart health. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some, this is actually shredded coleslaw. This is a tri-colored coleslaw. We just bought that right out of the bag. And add in as much as you'd like. You can see that this has cabbage and carrots along with the coleslaw. It even has a few green peppers in here. And then we're going to take those tomatoes that we just drained out and add the rest of that right into our coleslaw. So this is going to add that tomato and lettuce mixture. And it's going to really add the depth and the vegetables into your tacos. So we already have most of our fixings set up and ready to go. Now I'm just going to go back to the stove, and we're going to go ahead and make our tilapia, and then we're going to put it all together. All right, so what we're going to do now, we want to heat up our tilapia. We're going to go ahead and start adding a little bit of olive oil to our pan, about 2 tablespoons. We're going to get that heated right up. It's always nice to be on this gas stove. It's going to have an even heat distribution, and we're going to get this spread out on the bottom of our pan. Now, what we're looking for in our tilapia is to make sure that our fillets are about the same width. We don't want anything too thick that's going to throw off while we're cooking, and we don't want any of these to be left undone. Again, this is a seafood. It is a salt-based, saltwater fish, so we don't really have to get to an exact temperature, but for your best flavor, you want to make sure that tilapia is going to flake with a fork. So we're going to get a nice light texture, and we're going to flake that out. Once we get these laid in there, I'll spread those out. And it's only going to take us a few minutes for us to get these heated up. Tilapia is a very low-fat fish. It does have a certain amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which we are looking for in our heart-healthy diet. But this is very low in fat. This is actually not considered a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. Things like salmon, mackerel, and herring are going to be better sources of the omega-3 fatty acids. But tilapia has a great taste, very low fat, and does have a significant amount of protein, which is adding into this meal as well. This is going to be a really nice, comprehensive meal. We'll have our carbohydrates through our tortillas. We have our vegetables, and then, of course, we have our protein in the fish. So this is going to be a really nice, comprehensive meal. Like I said, this is going to be a very quick process. These are fairly thin fillets that I picked up right at our local meat market. We didn't have to do anything special to prepare these. If you'd like, you can add a little bit of cumin to these, and they'll add a little bit of flavor. can add that to both sides. This has the traditional fishy smell, and it smells really great. You know, if you find that the fish doesn't smell good right out of the package, you may have let this sit in your refrigerator too long. Once we buy our fish from the meat market, we want to make sure we're eating those within about 48 hours. Fish doesn't keep well when it's fresh this way, so plan your meals ahead of time and make sure you're having your fish taco soon after you're purchasing this meal. You can see already that this is starting to flake on one side. It's going to be a nice white color. And as I move it around, it's already starting to flake off. We want to make sure we get that second side fully cooked. We'll give it a little bit of time there. Now with this, you could use a lot of different vegetables as well. So we did use the canned tomatoes because we used the juice. But if you prefer fresh tomatoes as they are coming into season now, that would be a great addition as well. Add any kind of vegetables that you would like, and make sure you go light on your sour cream. You can use a fat-free sour cream as well, although we don't find that it always has the same taste. And it is a fairly distinctive taste, and it is a key component to this recipe. So it still meets our heart healthy guidelines if you do use the low fat. So that should fit in there just well. Now we do have a little bit of a thicker part here. We want to make sure that's getting cooked all the way through. Fortunately, our gas stove is distributing our heat really well, and we can see those are cooking through quite well. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin to this side as well. There are a lot of other seasonings that will go well with fish and other seafood as well. Dill would be a great choice in here. We do use turmeric and other seasonings as well. So this recipe does call for cumin, but feel free to give that a change if you're not a big fan of the cumin. While we let this cook off, let me remind you to check the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm website. That's at heartsbeatback.org. We have a lot of great events coming up for our summer months, including our Farmers Market. The New Ulm Farmers Market has expanded to a third day and will be in downtown New Ulm. So be sure to check the website for those new updated dates and opportunities for you to be buying fresh local produce. We also have some other fun events for our Community Health Challenge, as well as some worksite challenges that will be coming up too. All right, so you can see that that's flaking off quite nicely, breaks apart pretty easily. I want to make sure that's cooked all the way through so that these are enjoyable tacos, and I think we've done that. So let's go back to the counter and we'll finish up our prep. All right, so we have our fish ready to go, and we have our toppings as well. I've chosen a high fiber tortilla to wrap this in. You know, a corn tortilla is going to be a little bit lower in fat, so if you're watching the overall fat in this recipe, you do want to switch those corn tortillas as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut off a little bit of our fish. Going to line that right in here, and you know, like I mentioned, this is going to be a low-fat fish, so you can be quite generous with your portion size here. All of this is about 1.5 pounds of tilapia. Actually, is only 4 servings, so feel free to add a little bit of the extra fish in here. We have our great vegetable mix that adds nice color to this tortilla. Add that in. And then we're just going to drizzle our sauce over the top just a little bit. We're going to wrap that up. And we've got a perfect fish taco. This is going to be heart healthy, and it's really delicious. That's our first recipe for tonight. We'll be right back with recipe number 2. All right, let's go ahead and delve into our second recipe. So maintaining our Asian theme, we went with fish tacos to start. Our next thing we're going to be making is an Asian chicken salad. Now, many of us are facing salad fatigue. We have the same kind of salad over and over, and we've really felt like, I just don't know if I can do another salad. So tonight we're going to spruce that up a little bit, add some different ingredients, add some different flavor, and see if we can't keep you on those salads and promote that good heart health, getting our 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables through those salads. And we're going to even add in a little bit of fruit into this salad. So let's go ahead and take a look. You know, one of the things I always hear is that it just takes too much time to make a good salad. So tonight I want to work on a rotisserie chicken that I purchased at our grocery store, and this is going to be the protein in this meal. So nice and easy. We're going to have a really nice balsamic vinaigrette that's going to go on top with an Asian flair with a little bit of low sodium soy sauce in there. And we're going to use sesame oil instead of our olive oil, which again is going to give us a very distinct flavor. So let's go ahead and start with our sauce. We're going to do about 1/4 cup of our vinegar. We're going to add that into a separate bowl. And then with that, we're going to add just about 2 teaspoons of some grated ginger, Again, a very Asian flavor. If you don't like ginger, it is something that you can omit, but it is going to add really a definite flavor to this. We're going to go ahead and add in 2 tablespoons of our sesame oil. And then we're going to go with some low sodium soy sauce. And then to spice this up just a little bit, we're going to go ahead and add in a little bit of honey. Honey is going to be a less concentrated sugar and yet have that sweetness that's involved. So that's a nice additive to put in there as well. We're going to mix that up, and then we're going to let that just sit and let those flavors mix together a little bit here. Okay, once we have that done, the rest of it is really pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and use a spring mix. This is going to have baby lettuce, greens, and radicchio. Have a lot of different flavor and a lot of great color to it. We're going to add that into our bowl. Remember, I do like to use the pre-packed. I wouldn't have taken the time to break all of that down if I had bought it fresh and make it into a nice salad. So I did pay a little bit more for the bag, but it was worth it. Now I'm willing to eat it. Now to add into that, just to temper the flavor there a little bit, I'm going to add some romaine. And I'm going to mix that up a little bit here too. Okay, so we can see we already have our nice base to our salad. And then we're going to go ahead and break down this chicken a little bit. Now we want to make sure that we're only having our white meat, and we definitely want to take all of that skin off. Okay, so we can do this fairly quickly. You can see you're going to have this pre-made. I've had it in the refrigerator and it still is great. It's going to have good flavor, and I want to make sure I get that skin right off there. All right, so we want to take all the skin off, pull that back. And the breast is right here. This is what we're going to look for the most. We're actually looking for about 2 to 3 cups of chicken, so we can definitely get that yield off of here. Now, if you're looking at cooking on a budget, we want to make sure that we use this chicken then for stock, and we can also use those dark meats when we're making that chicken stock or even in soup. Because we have such a small quantity, it's fine to use your dark meat. So we're going to dig all this out, take off all of our white meat, then we're going to set this aside and make sure we definitely use this. We don't want to have any waste. We're going to make sure we maximize our dollars and get the most from this rotisserie chicken. All right, so we'll set that aside. I just want to cut this up into some smaller pieces, nice strips. Nice bite-sized pieces that are going to go right into this salad. And this is great as our summer months approach. You can definitely bring this to a barbecue or up to the lake, put it in the refrigerator. Your marinade is going to sit on there nicely. You don't want to keep this overnight. Your marinade is going to soak into this too much. You're going to find that your greens are going to become soggy. We're going to add that in there, toss that up a little bit. The next thing we want to add into here is some mandarin oranges. This is great flavor. It's getting our fruit serving in there. And these are packed in 100% natural fruit juice, so we're making sure that this is going to be heart healthy as well. Again, we're going to add that right into our bowl. You can see we have great color, great flavor, and it's going to be really unique. And yet we're still in about 5 to 10 minutes in total prep for this recipe. The next thing we're going to add is some slivered almonds. Along with the chicken, this is going to add our protein. Remember, almonds are a great source of protein. They have a lot of our good fats in them, and they contain no cholesterol. So definitely a good thing to add into any salad. Going to add a nice texture, and it is in keeping with that Asian theme with this recipe. All right, once we have that nice and mixed up, we're going to go ahead and drizzle that salad dressing that we made right on top and mix it right in there. You're going to find that just that small amount of dressing, so we use very little oil. This is going to be very lean, very low-fat salad, and yet you're going to have distinct Asian flavor in this. It has great color and really is going to add something to your salad. So you can see we've already put this together. It's very unique, definitely tastes great, and we're already ready to go. So you know, salads aren't a hindrance to us. Definitely something we can have on a regular basis. We can add lots of flavor and make them taste different every night. Make sure you try this. Experiment with the different greens. Try some dandelion, maybe some kale. Give it a try, mix it up, and make sure your salad comes out great. Should be a great start to this meal, and we'll enjoy it with our fish tacos. Well, that's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking, New Ulm. I'll see you next week.